Men of Reddit, what are some green flags on a first date? Looking back, the thing that should have been the biggest green flag about the woman I married was that she made just as much effort to see me as I did to see her. She texted me first, suggested hangout times, and came up with date ideas just as often as I did. I don't think I realized it back then, but I realize it now. You don't realize hours have passed sitting and chatting wherever. You sit in your car at the end of the night and talk for another hour, and realize even after one date you genuinely miss their company. Listening and reciprocating questions. I don't want to talk about myself the whole time, but this isn't a job interview where I'm the employer. Ask questions about me. Also, good manners go a long way. We accidentally showed up at the wrong restaurant. Well, I showed up at one on the north end of town, she was at the one on the south end. She ended up coming to meet me halfway, and after dinner we talked at a park at a lake until 2 in the morning, and it felt like no time had passed. She wasn't on her phone at all. I told her I don't kiss on the first date just to make sure it's not about a hookup. At the end of the night, as I was dropping her off at her car, she gave me a nervous smile, and then kissed me. Then she gave me a hug and even texted me to see if I got home, as she ended up making it to her place before I got to mine. Anyway, we've been married for 8 years now. She has a level of confidence. Nothing crazy, but you can tell she has an idea what she wants. If you pay for the meal or anything, she says, "Thank you," and is genuinely appreciative. A shocking amount of women won't even say thank you when you pay for stuff on a date. Bonus points if she offers to split the check, or I don't know, if you bought the movie tickets, she gets the popcorn, etc. Example, my now wife offered to split our first meal. I declined and paid. She thanked me. Then when we got a drink at the bar after, she said, "Let me get this round." Knew she was a keeper. Lots of laughter and smiles. You don't want the date to end. She asks you questions about your life, instead of what you have or how much you earn, and she genuinely seems interested. She's honest even if it's to share the less desirable side of herself or nature. My first date with the person I ended up marrying went like this. We met online, got to know each other a little, then agreed to meet after a while at a bar they were familiar with. We sat, talked, had a few drinks, had some bar food, and got along like we had known each other for years. After the bar closed, we sat in their car, it was winter time, for another couple of hours. I knew then I might have found someone special. My boyfriend and I both loved this about each other right from the beginning, we make each other calm. They listen and are actually interested in things you have to say. They talk too, obviously, and doesn't expect you to entertain them but rather have a nice conversation back and forth. No obvious expectations on food/drinks/pay whatever you're doing. For me it's a big green flag when they are adamant on separate checks for the first dates, because it means they are serious, and not just out for a free meal, no matter how the date goes. Honesty about intentions is a really big green flag too for me. Knowing if someone is possibly in for something serious with only you, or dating around a bit to find themselves and potentially eventually a nice partner helps in setting expectations on both parts, and you might even find yourselves great friends instead even if things don't click. Active conversation. She's asking questions, seems legitimately interested in what you have to say, not compulsively checking her phone or checking out in general. These are respectful things gents can do as well to keep things flowing well. I bought opera tickets once for me and a lady because we were both into that. It's very late when we're done, so I offer, and she accepts, a lunch date so we can talk about it. The date went fine, and then she paid for it. I was a bit surprised. I'm of the belief that unless arrangements are made beforehand, payment is done by the one who offers the date. Her. You paid for the opera tickets and I had a great time then and now. I'm not about to be greedy. If she genuinely cares about how you're doing in life, if she makes efforts to understand you as a person, and if she chooses to split after all that. Well, I've been on quite a few first and second dates in the last 3 years. Some were a ton of fun, and some really sucked. The ones that ended up going anywhere had most of these in common. On time, conversation flows easily, she asks questions and contributes. If we're having fun, going to a second location is a good sign. At the end of the date, if she leans in for a kiss or even asks you to her place, she's gotta be polite to staff, and if I pay for the date, being thanked is nice. Also being straightforward about her dating goals from the start. My wife was 30 to 40 minutes late to our first date, and the first time we had ever met. She was very apologetic, and once she settled down from feeling bad about being late, she asked me questions no other gal ever had. Nothing crazy, but just questions genuinely interested in me. She has been the same sweet angel every day since then too, and she has also given me 2 amazing daughters. Hard to explain, but her green flags were/are everywhere. Aside from her punctuality. I am horrible at reading people. Many years ago I learned a little trick. You invite someone to do something in the future, but you leave out an obvious detail. If they ask for the detail, they probably are actually interested. Example. A group of us are going bowling next Thursday after work. Would you like to come? If she says yes but doesn't ask what time exactly or which bowling alley, she isn't coming. When she looks comfortable, at ease, and is actually engaging in conversation. Smiles and laughs are great too. Her appearance matches the photos she sent you. If she's telling the truth about simple things like that, that's a green flag out of the gate. Arrives on time. Doesn't peek at her phone. Hold eye contact. Dressed well, means she takes it somewhat seriously. Doesn't make snide comments about the venue, couldn't have we gone elsewhere? Is genuinely interested at the prospect of setting up another one, once it's over. Does your dog or cat like them? Animals see things we don't. I got the dog in the divorce. Years later, I went on a date with someone who ended up coming back to mine, and we stayed up and talked until 3 or 4 a.m. I was sleeping in a hammock at the time and didn't own a bed, and also wasn't looking for a hookup, so my date slept on the couch. When I came out to the living room in the morning, my dog was asleep on the guy's legs. Doggo had never come to bed, just stayed out in the living room with my date. We celebrated 5 years this past January. We lost the dog a few years in, but my cat sleeps on my partner nearly every single night. 1. She is present. 2. She doesn't dress like a teenager. Jeans and a t-shirt are 100% okay with me, but wearing capris with a half tucked in button up, no belt, and too many buttons undone is just a hard pass. I don't even know how that's a style these days. 3. The conversation is enjoyable. Don't try to introduce a power dynamic to the conversation. We're just 2 people getting to know each other over some drinks. When I say power dynamic here, there are a lot of people who get off by feeling the power of controlling the conversation, and in many ways, it comes across as belittling or an unsubtle communication that they feel like they're superior. Those are huge red flags to me, as it communicates that they are manipulative and controlling. 4. She engages in innocent physical touch. If a guy initiates this, it can often be read wrong, but if a woman does this, and she does it subtly, then it's a great way of communicating without anyone putting themselves out there. Basically, this could be like touching feet/legs under the table. She puts her hand on his forearm when the conversation is good, etc. She's telling him she's interested in a way that men should understand. If a guy doesn't like her, he won't be offended by this. However, if a guy did this and the woman didn't like him, then instantly, he's a creeper. So yeah, men, if you want to try this, be careful, as women are just better at it. Offering to split the bill or pay. It doesn't matter who asked, or if you believe in traditional gender roles or not. It's always nice if you offer, even if we have no intention of taking you up on it. Respect views and beliefs even if they oppose theirs, isn't demanding, has goals, honesty, and laughs at themselves. When you have to go diarrhea because you ate Indian food, yet she still waited for you at the table. Open body language. This shows if they are actually interested in you and genuinely like you. If their body is pointed towards you and their arms aren't crossed but also pointing in your direction, it shows she is comfortable with being around you and probably likes you. If they cross their arms and their body isn't pointed towards you, and if you are sitting beside them on a bench on your first date, and she puts her leg up on whatever side you are sitting on, she doesn't feel comfortable with you yet and probably doesn't like you. Leg up happened to me, folks. Putting away distractions and actually focusing on what's going on. Very few and far between. Had a date with this girl I was into, and every 30 seconds she checked her phone cause her roommate's messages were so much more important. Bro, if you just don't want to be there, leave and stop wasting my time and money. Dinner was like $110 and I covered it, stupidly enough. Our server spilled a drink on my now wife and she took it in stride. No panic over her outfit/makeup and no accusations against the server. She just helped the server clean it up. Realized at that moment she was a good one.